Have you outgrown the character that you've been playing your whole life? If not, maybe it's time you start. I was watching The Truman Show the other day, which is probably one of my favorite movies. And I love this movie so much just because it shows kind of how our lives are just kind of fake. And he's the only true, authentic thing or character in the movie, if you think about it. Everyone around him is acting. They're all playing a part. And sometimes I feel like we're doing the same thing. We're all just acting. We're all just playing a part. And we became these characters slowly over time. From children, we're told where to go, where to stand, how to act, what's appropriate, what's not appropriate to fit into society. And it comes through our families, through our institutions. We have to follow this progression. If we want to be successful, you have to go to school, you have to get a job, you have to get married, you have to have kids. That traditional role was put into our lives, or put into our minds. And I guess you could say, as Gen Xers, that was the traditional expectation. And so we slowly became these characters, and a lot of us became people pleasers because it was like, well, I don't want to, rock the boat. I want to just get along with everyone. I want everyone to like me. And there's probably many other reasons why people become people pleasers, but that could be one of them. Is we're trying to play this role. And I love the movie because slowly he started waking up to the character that he was. And the first thing that woke him up was when the star fell out of the sky, the Sirius star, and it set it on the side of the light. It was a studio light that fell right in front of him as he was walking to work, or walking to get into his car or something. And he kind of looked at it and thought, that was what started making him think, well, that's weird. What is this all about? And then he gets in his car, turns on the radio, and immediately the director knew exactly he had to, get his mind off of it. So the news report on the radio says, oh, an airplane just lost a piece of equipment in case anybody saw it, or something like that. And he thought, okay, that answered that question. I'll accept that. But you could tell he kind of put it in the back of his mind and started waking up, if you will. So my question to you is, what has been your serious star moment in your life? Has there been something that just felt off to you? Was it a person that said something, or was it a news report that, you thought, something doesn't sound right? And not to be all conspiracy theory here, but if something doesn't sound right and it makes you kind of go, it's okay to question it, because that's you, that's your inner person, that's your higher self, if you will, breaking free of that character that you've been playing all your life. And you can also find it through feelings. If something feels off in your relationship, in your friendship, or, something just doesn't feel right, that's your true self trying to break character. So I'll share with you, my first serious star moment was when I was about 12 or 13 years old, sitting in church with my family, and I was next to my dad. And this just came to me, and I thought, what is all this? This man is standing in the front, being paid to talk about something that we don't know. I'm a very practical person. I need proof about everything. I need to see proof, right? So I'm going, how do we know this is all real? How do we know this isn't just some big scam? And here's this guy, we're giving him money every week and the little thing that comes by. How do we know this is real? So I lean over to my dad and I whisper, what is all this? How do we know this is not a big scam? And he's like, not now. And I'm like, okay, fine. I'll wait till we're in the parking lot. But you better believe I was right on it. And I just said, okay, explain. I just why do I just have to accept this? And he said, well, there's been thousands and thousands of years of scriptures that have been passed down. And, there's, I don't know other ways to prove it, but it's more or less kind of a leap of faith. And, when he told me about all the scriptures and the passing down in the Bible and the Old Testament, New Testament, you know, I thought, okay, I'll accept that. That was the radio report in Truman Show where I was like, okay, but I filed that away. And this is not to get into religion at all. This is just my serious moment that woke me up to start questioning just going along with the rules, if you will, or if just society. So slowly after that, though, it did make me question, you know, what we're doing here. Like, what is this? Like, why do we have to do things that way or this way? Or it got me in trouble a few times at some jobs that I had because I was considered not a team player, because I was like, well, why do we have to have meetings every 5 minutes? Like, it's such a waste of time, you know. And I was kind of labeled this, like, you know, she doesn't go along to get along, which is interesting because I am a people pleaser, but I would do it kind of under the radar and kind of like slowly, quietly say to someone, why are we doing it this way? But as I got older, you know, started finding my voice a little more, and I'm healing every day. But what I'm trying to get at is breaking character, breaking the Truman character. He started waking up and realizing, like, hold on, something doesn't sit right. Something doesn't feel right. Like, every day I'm in this routine, I'm going through this routine, and the same people walk by at the same time and the same things happen. And then a couple little snafus happen where he was like going to get on an elevator and they weren't ready for him because he went outside of his little routine, and he saw like the set behind the elevator and was like, what? And so things started adding up to him. So what my point of this video is to challenge you to start breaking character. Start listening to that voice inside you. Listen to the little cues that you've been seeing and questioning, and not ignore them and not push them away, not push them down. Don't do a huge character break. You know, it doesn't have to be very dramatic. So this week, do one thing that is out of character for you. And that could be with your family, with one of your friends, if you want to do it in a safe environment where you might wear a different shirt that you normally would wear, or you might decide you would rather wear a different pair of earrings that you normally wouldn't. That small of an increment could be. Or you refuse to go to an invitation that you normally would. Something small like that to break character. And eventually all those little things will start adding up, and people will start noticing that, why isn't she being so go with the flow anymore? She doesn't seem like she wants to always hang out anymore, that kind of thing. That is a slow way to break character. And that's okay, because that's being true to you. That is being your true self. And that's what Truman did, is he was willing to risk his life at the end of that movie to just break out of the prison that he was in. And sometimes it feels like we're in a prison because we're just going through the motions every day, doing the same thing, because it's safe. It feels safe. And if we just break out of that prison and do something a little different, it's very liberating, and it will make you into a different character, one that is more true to you and not more accommodating to everyone else. So good luck. Take this week, figure out what that little thing is that you want to do that breaks your character. And I'm going to make a few other videos that will go along with this, just to eventually get to that new you. Good luck.